Good morning, nerds. It's your host, Gumball Head, with another episode of Road Rants on the Normal Isn't Necessary Podcast Network. Road Rants, the DTE series, is where I tell you I've got 106 miles until my car is on empty. DTE stands for distance to empty, but my brain is full and constantly moving, as you all know. It's the 19th of June, 2026. We're looking at 7:45 a.m. at 65 degrees here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Blue skies and butterflies everywhere you look. Followed by 2 days of gray and rain and thunderstorms and tornado watches in the mornings. So today is a beautiful rebound from the last couple of days of hell that we've been through as far as the weather goes. I hope everybody's doing well. I actually want to talk about success in social media a little bit while I'm driving to work today. And that success in social media depends on you. So take a listen and stick around for a little while. If you want to be a host or a guest, or you want to have a topic talked about here on the Normal Isn't Necessary Podcast, send us an email, normalisn'tnecessarypodcast@gmail.com. We'll get you on the show, or we'll get your topic talked about. Please reach out to us. This is actually a follower request that wants to talk about success in social media, and they wanted to know my take on it. So here we go. I've been experiencing a lot of things lately. Looking at my algorithm on TikTok, the algorithm is showing me a majority of just a mishmash of things. But I have spent the last couple of days going through TikTok and doing the whole long hold on the screen, not interested in this live creator, because I don't want to see the content that they're promoting. It's not anything personal. It's just I'm not wanting that to be a part of my algorithm, and I'm scrubbing some of that stuff from there. Now, when it comes to that, there's two different things that happens when you do a not interested in this live creator. Number one, it takes a lot of the physical aspects and the visual aspects of the person that's on there that helps TikTok to determine whether or not that person is going to be promotable or not. If enough people say that they're not interested in that creator, well, then they zoink them right off and they don't promote them. On the other side, if they find that people are selecting the not interested in this live creator, and let's say music, for example, they're playing guitar, they will determine whether or not that genre is based, whether or not that genre is being liked based on your other selections. If you do 3 or 4 selections of somebody who's playing a banjo, they're going to stop showing you banjo videos, because social media makes their money on promotability, and if you're not being viewed by the social media masses, then they're not going to promote those social media masses. They're not going to promote those individuals. Now, with me being a podcast host, I stepped away from TikTok. I go on there for pleasure. I go on there to find guests for our show, and I go on there to check in on the people that I've associated with over the last 3, 4, 5 years, and just to kind of see how they're doing. Now, social media creators, there's a huge delineation between successful and non-successful creators. That delineation determines as to whether or not you're promoting a product, and that product could be your band, it could be your music, it could be just yourself, it could be your only subscribers page, it could be video games, or it could be those people that just hang out in the boxes and chat. Now, I saw a lot of people move from Podbean over to TikTok once the Podbean platform decided to stop doing live recordings. And I don't want to leave Podbean for 2 reasons. Number one, it's a good platform for me, and it gives me the opportunity to go back and edit my stuff later, or it gives me the opportunity to grow things. And with additional platforms out there that Podbean pushes my podcast out to, it gives me a higher visibility than it does on that smaller platform. So these podcasts actually push out to all your major streaming platforms like iHeartRadio, iTunes, pushes it out to YouTube, it pushes it out to our Facebook page. It's all based on the funnel that we've created in order to create that listening network. Now, what does that mean for the average person? What does that mean for the normal people that are out there? Well, if you're not promoting yourself on an individual platform consistently and with a substantiated amount of effort, then you're not going to grow. Now, those people that left Podbean to go over to TikTok, those people are still maintaining their followers because they're bringing those followers with them from the social media platform that they moved from and promoting those people and moving those people over to new social media platforms, whether that be Podbean or YouTube or whatever. But there's a difference in types of those social medias as well, and I'll explain that in just a moment. But social media is a huge network, and there are some things that are damning in the social media network. Now, it is primarily based on attractive levels, and the percentage that I recently read, based on psychological effects of visual presentation of individuals when it comes to being a content creator, 9% of the non-beautiful population, the people that are not considered to be of an attractive nature, 9% are successful. Okay, whereas in the attraction network, based on attraction alone, this is not based on content, this is based on attraction, the non-attractive people get 9% of success. The attractive people are closer to 68% of success, regardless of content being created. Now, this study was done independently with the mute button on, so you could not be influenced in the content that was being created. You're only able to make that assumption or make that determination on whether or not they were promotable based on A, visuals, so being able to see the individual, and B, their taglines at the bottom, so their titling at the bottom. So this is based on first impressions, attractiveness, the appearance of the person, and the information that's provided without being able to hear what's going on. So that was our mean for our determination as far as the social media platforms go. Now, when you go in and you select not interested in this creator, they're going to determine why. They're going to use a calculation, a mathematical calculation, and they're going to determine why this content creator was not chosen by the viewer, and they're going to remove some of those metrics from the algorithm, and they're going to apply different metrics until they tweak and see exactly what your FYP on TikTok or your Reels are on Instagram, or your viewer count based on ads and stuff like that on Facebook. So it's going to make that determination for you based on a mathematical equation. Ironically enough, it's all based on numbers, and those numbers turn to dollars. Okay, so those are some of the things that are making that number grow for those creators. Now, visual and the different types of social medias, it breaks down simply to this. On TikTok, you are more of a unedited and more raw platform for self-promotion. You go from that, and you could do those things on TikTok and be visually present, but those things change based on most of that is rough draft. Okay, we'll think of it as that. Reels are a little bit more polished when it comes to Facebook and Instagram. Reels are a little bit more polished. You put more time into it. There's editing involved, and you have your subtitles and your context, and you might add music, or you might just add words or whatever. And then you get into the edited realm of bigger social media like YouTube, and into podcast content, higher monitoring, higher visual influence, as well as higher edited content. So TikTok, rough draft. Reels, edited rough drafts. And then you get into your final products with the YouTubes and stuff like that. So now a lot of people do put that effort and time into TikTok, and they do their edits on their videos. But think about it. With a podcast, even with my podcast, 10 minutes to an hour. Okay, we've got some of our podcasts have gone 2 hours. Do I edit them? No. Why? Because why spend the time editing if people aren't going to listen? When there is a change in that metric, just like every other algorithm, when there's a change in the metric, we're going to edit it deeper. Now, with my TikTok, I don't edit much. Sometimes I do spend some time, but think about it. You spend 2 hours working on a 15-second video and nobody watches it. Where's the effort going to grow? Well, your consistency is going to determine the outcome. Okay, if you're consistent on your editing and you're consistent on your viewers and stuff like that, then things are going to be a lot more different than if you continuously promote and produce crappy videos or crappy TikToks. Same thing goes for your YouTube. Same thing goes for your podcasts. If you're not adding music and advertisements, people aren't going to have the interest. They want to come in, and our brains are successful when it comes to individual chaos, especially when you go into those rooms where there's a lot of flashing lights, a lot of things going on, music and art and conversation and a big chat group, a big chat box. There's a lot of things that are involved. So the more chaos, the more attractive, and it's weird how that works, but it's how it works. And that's my take on all this for today. So stay tuned later. We're going to have another podcast, probably on the ride home. We're going to break down things. We're going to talk about my journey to getting my glasses. So until our paths cross, stay strong, stay focused, stay sober, guys. Much love. We'll see you soon.